Yes, hello everybody. Myself, Mr. Wakamangi, and I'm from Light Academy Secondary School, math teacher. So today I'm here to make one video about a topic which will be discussed in the next slide. Actually, why we have studied this thing, we have some situation in all over the world. The coronavirus, which is a deadly pandemic virus. So because of these things, we are in the lockdown, and we are in some videos for the boys who are at the home. They can watch these videos and they can learn the things which they're supposed to learn in the classes in the schools. Yes, let's go. So the topic is rectangular Cartesian coordinates in 2 dimensions. So before we start, we can explain the topic. What is the topic actually? Rectangular Cartesian coordinates in 2 dimensions. Why we say it rectangular? Cartesian coordinates we can understand. Why we say it rectangular? Because like when we plot some points in the Cartesian coordinates, that gives you a shape of a rectangular. That's why we say it rectangular Cartesian coordinates in 2 dimensions. In Cartesian coordinates, we can explain it like that you have some graph, and when you're plotting points there, so they meet on one point. So that will be the Cartesian coordinates in 2 dimensions. So downside we can see some of the keywords are there. Coordinates, axis, plot, and scale. These things will be the keywords we will be using in the lesson. So by the end of this topic, when we explain this whole topic, you should be able to understand about the identifying the y-axis and x-axis. What we say about the y-axis and x-axis, like which point is a y-axis and which point is a x-axis. You will be able to understand that thing. The second one is draw and label the Cartesian plane. So the second one is like we will be drawing and we will be labeling the Cartesian plane in the graph paper. The third one is read and plot points on the Cartesian plane. So we will be having some questions out there, and we will be plotting the points on the Cartesian plane, and we will be understanding it very well. Yes, so let's start with the introduction. This topic is key in building the concept of location. The knowledge achieved from the topic can be used in locating places. In order to locate places, you need a starting point or reference point. So from this introduction, we can understand it easily that wherever you go, you need some location, isn't it? When you are at home, or you want to meet with some of your friends, so you need some location. Okay, so you are going to meet there with the friends. So when you have the location, that place, but the thing is like you are starting from one point. Okay, so here in this topic we will be understanding the locating places, okay, where we need to locate, and of course like we will be having the starting point over there. Yes, the subtopic for this Cartesian plane, rectangular Cartesian plane, is identify the x-axis and y-axis. In the first one we saw it, we need to identify the x-axis and y-axis very well to understand this topic properly. Yes, so you can see in the left side we have a graph paper there, and right side we have some explanation up there to understand the which one is the x-axis and which one is the y-axis. So we can see it. The horizontal axis is called the x-axis. The line which is a horizontal line on the graph paper, that is the x-axis, and the vertical one is the y-axis. So the line which is on the graph paper, vertically it is placed on the graph paper, that will be the y-axis. Cartesian points are written as xy pairs in parentheses. So whenever you have points like x point and y point, they will be written in the parenthesis like so. It is written, it is shown here, x comma y parenthesis. So like here we can explain more things about the positive x-axis and negative x-axis, positive y-axis and negative y-axis. So you see, like right side, this is a positive x-axis, and when you go to the left on the same line, that will be the negative x-axis. This is your positive y-axis and this is your negative y-axis. So this point is a starting point, as we have discussed in the beginning. In introduction, when you are going to any location, you need a starting point. So this will be your starting point, or you can say it origin point. Yes. Other than that, one more thing is there. I need to explain it here, because in the next slide we'll be doing that thing. The quadrant. What is a quadrant? I can explain it to you. You can see that we have four parts: 1, 2, 3, and 4. When both the points are positive, that is the first quadrant. Okay, when both the points are positive, you see, this is the positive x-axis, this is the positive y-axis. When both the points are positive, that will be the first quadrant. In the second quadrant, when the y-axis is a positive and the x-axis is negative, that will be your second quadrant. In the third quadrant, when you have the both of the points, like x-axis and y-axis are both are the negative, that will be the third quadrant. And the fourth quadrant will be the y-axis will be the negative and the x-axis will be the positive, that will be the fourth quadrant. So I hope you understood very well, because in the next slide we are going to explain it in some other ways. Yes, the next one is the Cartesian plane. You can see on the graph paper we have drawn some figures out there, and here's some explanation here. We can read it and we can understand. Let's read it. The position of any point on a Cartesian plane is described by using two numbers, x and y, that are called coordinates. You can see the position of any point on a Cartesian plane is described by using two numbers, x, y, that are called coordinates. We can describe the point on the Cartesian plane how? By putting these coordinates, x and y coordinates. When we have the x and y coordinate, when you're putting on the Cartesian plane, you can explain any of the point on the Cartesian plane. The first number, x, is the horizontal position. This one already we have discussed. The horizontal line, that is the x, and it comes in the first horizontal position of the point from the origin, and this O point is the origin point. It is called the x coordinate. The second number, y, is the vertical position of the point from the origin. Yeah, this is a vertical line, and that is your y-axis, and you can say it y coordinate, and we place the y coordinate on this line, and this is your origin point. Since a specific order is used to represent the coordinates, yeah, there is some order, specific order to represent the coordinates. They are called the ordered pairs. Okay, you got it? Like this is the x-axis, and this is your y-axis, and how we say it a Cartesian plane. Whenever we want to show any point on the Cartesian plane, we describe by using x and y coordinates, and we say it like this is your x-axis. Whatever you have the x, you will be plotting from here, and whatever you have y-axis, you will be plotting on this line. Hope you understand. Yes, the next one is plotting a point in the Cartesian plane. So all other things we have discussed. Now we need to understand how we are going to plotting a point in Cartesian plane, how we are putting a point on a Cartesian plane. Yes, we have some explanation up there. Let's read it, and after that we can make it proper on the graph plane. If the coordinates x, y of a point are given, like if the coordinates are given, x and y are given, one can plot in the Cartesian xy plane by taking the following steps. So these points can be plotted on the Cartesian plane by following the steps written down side there. Yes, so the step 1. Observe the sign of the coordinates and determine the quadrant in which the point should be plotted. Yes, in the first slide we have discussed about the quadrant. So whenever you have the sign, whenever you have the coordinates, xy coordinates, so firstly you have to observe the sign of the points. If the x is positive and y is positive, so it needs to be remain in the quadrant 1. If x is negative and y is positive, so it will be in as quadrant 2. If x is negative and y is negative, it will be in quadrant 3. And if y is negative and x is positive, that will be in quadrant 4. So we need to understand that thing very well to be plotted in which quadrant by checking their signs. So the step 2 is take a rectangular Cartesian frame of axis x ox and y oy cutting each other at right angles at O. Yes, so when you are putting the coordinates like x coordinate and y coordinate, and when they are cutting with each other at the right angle at O, the origin point. The third step is take a point M on the x-axis on the side of the concerned quadrant such that the distance of the point M from the origin equals the numerical value of the x coordinate. Draw a perpendicular MN on the axis. Take a point P on the perpendicular such that MP is equal to the numerical value of the y coordinate and P is in the concerned coordinate. Thus P is plotted according to its given coordinates. So in this one, in the third step, it is actually explaining about the coordinates. When you are putting the coordinates, like if it is in the x-axis, when you are putting the coordinate, when you are putting the point, you need to draw one line there, and like that. Like if it is this is like x and this is like y, when you're putting the points here, and you need to draw one line there, and from here y-axis, if you have some points when you're putting, you need to draw a line from over there. So where the lines are meeting with each other, that will be the cutting point over there when they intersect with each other. Okay, so let's go further to understand this thing very well. Yes. So we have some kind of questions here. By solving these kind of questions, we can understand very well. So plot the following points in Cartesian plane. So the question number 1 is the points are 2 and 3. So already we have understood in other slides that whenever you have the points, you need to check the points very well. Okay, and you know in the points the x is coming first and y is coming after the x. So here x is 2, we have x is 2 and y is 3. So the question number 1, the solution we have started from here is like that. 2 parenthesis 2 comma 3 parenthesis is a point in the first quadrant because 2 is greater than 0 and 3 is greater than 0. You understood? Like we have discussed already in the starting, like when you have the points, you need to check the points whether they are a positive or negative. You need to check their signs, whether they are in the first quadrant or in second quadrant or in third quadrant or in fourth quadrant. We need to check it very proper. So check it out, like 2 is greater than 0, it means 2 is positive. 3 is greater than 0, it means 3 is positive. It means both are positive. When both are positive, when both the points are positive, x and y both are positive, it means these points will be plotted in the quadrant 1. So following the steps 2 and 3, we plot the points P with coordinates 2 and 3 as shown below. So by following the step 2 and step 3, we are going to plot these points on the graph here, and we can understand where these both the points are cutting with each other. Yes, so you can check it out, like this line is your x-axis and this line is your y-axis. This is your positive x and this is your negative x. This is your positive y, this is your negative y, and this point is your origin point. So you can check it out, like x is 2, so like here, isn't it? X is 2, so you plot here, okay, x is 2, and you check it out, y is 3, so y is this line and this is a positive, so y is here. So when you are drawing some lines there, okay, from here where they are meeting, okay, from here where they are meeting, this is a red point over there, where they are meeting, this is a Cartesian coordinate. This thing is the Cartesian coordinate, where they meet with each other, where they intersect with each other, that point will be your Cartesian coordinates. Hope you understand it. You got it? Again, I can explain it one more time. When you have the xy coordinates, so firstly you need to check it out, their signs, if they are positive, if they are negative, if they are both are positive, both are negative, one is negative, one is positive. So accordingly you will be putting in the quadrant. If both are positive, you need to replace in the quadrant 1. This is quadrant 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So what we need to do here, already we have discussed about the coordinates, how you are placing, how you are putting the coordinate. First number is x and the second number is y. So like 2 I replace here and 3 from here. So when they meet with each other, where they intersect with each other, lines they intersect with each other, that point will be the Cartesian coordinates. Yes, let's go for the number 2. The question number 2 is 2, negative 3. This is a solution. 2, negative 3 is a point in the fourth quadrant. Why it says it fourth quadrant? Because here 2 is positive and x is positive and y is negative. So where we need to plot it, here when you have the both numbers positive, you are plotting here. When you have y positive, x negative, you are plotting here, the second quadrant. When you have the both the coordinates are negative, you are plotting here, the fourth quadrant. and when you have x positive and y negative, you are plotting in the fourth quadrant. So that's why it says parenthesis 2 comma negative 3 is a point in the fourth quadrant, because 2 is positive, 2 is greater than 0, and negative 3 is less than 0. Following the steps 2 and 3, we plot the point P with coordinates 2 and negative 3 as shown below. Yes, so this will be plotted in the quadrant 4. So what we need to do is we can start for the x. So you see, like the points are there, 1 2 3 4 5. We start from the origin point, we see where we need to replace on 2, 1 2. So line start from here, okay, we start from the origin point and it comes here on 2, and the y is negative 3. So this is the positive y and this is the negative y, and y is negative, so we start from the 0, isn't it? 1 2 3. So we the second coordinate, it comes here on negative 3. So what we need to do is we need to draw a line where they're meeting with each other. That point will be your Cartesian coordinate. Yes, we draw a line from here to here, and we draw one line from here to here. So they meet with each other here on the red point. So that red point will be your Cartesian coordinate. Hope you understand well, because I'm actually not able to write on the paper, so So that's why I was trying to explain it again and again. So hopefully you understand it well. So I'm going to end my lesson here. If you have any questions, you can write down, and after that you can ask from me. And for the next lesson, we are going to explain the same topic, rectangular Cartesian coordinate, more. So other 2 points are there, and we are going to explain that two topics in the next lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.